right into it here. All right. Today, December 8th. I hope that some of you were able to watch a video that I posted as an update on Schoology regarding one of the most famous speeches in American history, FDR, on December 8th, when he was talking about yesterday, December 7th, the date which will live in infamy. Yeah, when it comes to presidential speeches, that's got to be near the top there. Not just for that, because it was commemorating the 79th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Check out that 6-minute video. I'm not asking you to do specifically anything with it. It's just, yeah, if you would like to or not. So we'll start out with a little Quizlet Live today to review for what we've got going on upcoming quiz. We're going to have a little conversation regarding what is a revolution. What was the American Revolution that revolutionary? It's important that you understand what the definition of a state is as we get into today's video. So I'm going to introduce that video, which is going to be due on Thursday. And lastly, make sure that you're paying attention to your due dates as you see them on the right-hand side of Schoology there. So I do want to make this session pretty quick because I want to give you as much time as possible this morning to complete what I'm asking you to do. So let's get right over to it. Let's all go to Quizlet.live. Let's go Quizlet.live. Let me check and see how many we have. Okay. And some people were asking, hey, Mr. Pieper, there's like 55 terms on this deal. How many are going to be on the quiz? Well, great question. I would say about 25 of them. Okay, we're missing about 6 of you, I think. A little more, maybe. Give it just one more minute. And just so you all know, Google has been acting a little weird both today and yesterday, and it took a while for me to get a report as to who was on the Google Meet. And I'm kind of preaching to the choir here because if you're here, you're not watching the videos, but it's been taking an extra long time to post those videos. So yeah, I don't know why I'm talking to you about this because you guys are all here, but it's just taking a little longer with a lot of this stuff. So I don't know if if Google's just kind of getting overwhelmed with all the videos being sent in to get processed or what, but all right, here we go. Here are your spirit animals, folks, and they're racing. All right. Round one goes to the Penguins. Here we go. And round two, and they're racing. Oh, kangaroos. I thought you had it. Wow. Penguins going to win another one. How do they do that without knees? All right, here we go. Last one. This one's for all the Tostitos, and they're racing. Wowee. 3 in a row for the Noble Penguins. All right. Here we go, folks. Back right to it here. Now, is my microphone on? Yep. Everybody can hear me? Perfect. All right. So we already played a little quiz live. We know that that quiz is coming up here. Again, pay attention to those due dates and make sure that you know when stuff is due and when we're having quizzes. So next, and I apologize to those of you that had me for U.S. History A, because I feel like I talked about this a lot, even though we weren't technically, studying the American Revolution. What we were studying was the whole concept of that change of government. So what the rip is a revolution? And this is kind of figurative. When we use the word revolution in this sense, we're talking figurative. This is figurative language, talking about a dramatic shift in thinking. But we literally know that a revolution, or the literal definition of a revolution, is to revolve. So how did we even arrive at that word? Well, back in the day, people were sure for the longest time that the Earth was the center of the universe. It was the geocentric theory. But then, some different scientific discoveries came along, Copernican theory, kind of confirming that, no, the sun is the center of the universe. And that kind of blew everybody's mind at the time. So from then on out, any shift in thinking was referred to a revolution, because including that heliocentric theory with the sun at the center of the universe, that would mean that the Earth is now revolving around the sun. Okay, so that revolution, is kind of, any dramatic shift in thinking from there on out is going to be referred to as a revolution. However, the American Revolution, is it truly that revolutionary? Well, in a world history sense, no, it really was not. If you compare it with the French Revolution, if you compare it with some of these other revolutions kind of occurring at the same time, the French Revolution was a situation in which you had 3% of the population having total control, 97% not having any control. And that 97% rose up and took that 3% of the population and put them all in the guillotine. And there were thousands upon thousands of people that were sent to the guillotine. And then they flipped their government structure completely around. Okay, so relatively speaking, there are some way more revolutionary revolutions. But what I want you to kind of get a notion of today is that word deference, okay? They're going to talk in the video a little bit about deference. That's the idea that certain people are born of noble status and some people are not. And that if you were walking down the street and you were to witness somebody that was of a nobler status, that you had to recognize that status. You had to recognize that deference. Okay? And the fad of the times was this notion of equality that you're going to be seeing referred to in the Declaration of Independence. Okay. Secondly, one thing that I want to unpack here before you get into this is the definition of the word state. Again, I apologize to you U.S. History A kids because I know that we talked about this last trimester, but in a geography sense, the definition of the word state is synonymous with country. And in this country, we kind of have a jaded view of what that means because we think of the word state as being part of a country. Well, no. We started calling these colonies, okay, they started identifying as states long before there was ever an idea of any bigger entity than a state. So the state of Virginia was truly that. It was an independent nation. They thought of their identity as being with that independent state. So I want you to keep that in mind when all of these states are coming together, all these colonies are coming together to try to figure out how they're going to deal with Britain. They were doing it as independent entities. So the whole concept of a unified group of states is kind of a supranational organization bigger than that of those independent entities. And I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as you're studying or looking at this video today. So here we go. Let's go right to Schoology. Let me show you what this looks like for you. And I'll view this as Joel just because he's first on the list here. All right, so we are in the Revolutionary War unit. Okay, here's where you can find that Quizlet link. Remember, you have that with pictures and without pictures. It would behoove you to study it without pictures because that's going to be more like what it's going to be on the quiz. Under this folder, you're going to see Blows Must Decide. This is the title of this video here. This YouTube link should take you straight to the video. If you can't find, if the link isn't working for you, make sure that you're logged into your Google account, your school Google account. If that still doesn't work, try using it on another device and just simply search Liberty with an exclamation point and then Blows Must Decide. And it'll be about a 50-minute video that you're going to need to watch here. Now, are you going to have to watch all 50 minutes? Not necessarily. And let me show you how this works. So take this PDF and put that bad boy into Notability. And then follow this. I've got that video link up here that should work as well. When I say ID, that means identify. Tell me the significance of. So these questions should go in order with what you're studying here. And when you see the skip part, that means on the video itself, from 21 to 21:30 to about 27 minutes, you can skip that. Okay. You can skip 31 to about 34. I just wanted to cut out some of the stuff in which we weren't focusing too much, okay? And obviously DOI is Declaration of Independence, okay? So this is gonna go right along with that video. Please get going on that right now. So here's what I want you to do. If you are able to access the video, if you're able to access the video, and you're able to get going on this thing, you can go ahead and check out and be done for the day. But if you're staying on, I'm assuming that that means that you are having trouble accessing the video or something like that. Okay? So thanks for coming in today.